Hi there, this is our Week 8 help video for Spanish 101, and I'm going to talk about two things. One is the proctored exam for next week, Week 9, and the second is one of the My Spanish Lab activities that has the lowest average grade as of right now. So, first talking about the proctored exam. So this is, the point of having a proctored exam at this point in the semester is to make sure that you're familiar with the process for taking a test at a testing center before you get to the final exam, which will also be proctored. So I'm going to walk you through how to schedule your test. Some of you may have already scheduled it, and that's great. But if you haven't, this is what you need to do. If you don't live in the Treasure Valley and you need to get your test proctored somewhere else, please try to find somebody as quickly as possible. A local college or university is usually the best option, but there are also sometimes public libraries or an administrator at a high school will also agree to proctor the exams sometimes. So check into those and let me know if you need any help. So here's where you will find the page to schedule your test. So I'm on the CWI website, went to current students, and then assessment and testing. Down here, there's a button that says schedule your exam. I'm going to click on that and scoot it over here. So we're just going to walk through these steps. Choose a location. You can take it at either testing center, CWI student exams, classroom and online exams, Spanish, and then you'll look for my Chapter 3 exam. Be careful not to choose the final exam. Okay. And then it'll have the dates. So the dates that you should be taking it are the 10th through the 19th. Those others are there for makeup dates if somebody needs to use a late pass to take it. But I'd recommend, if at all possible, taking it during these specified dates. So let's say you want to take it on Thursday, March 15th. There's the times that are available. As we get closer to it, there will be less availability generally. You'll notice that here the latest that you could take it this day would be 4:40 because of the hours at the testing center that day. So, and because it's a 2-hour exam, or that's the time frame that I've allowed for it. So watch for those end times, and if you are working full time and need to take time off, or maybe scheduled to take it on a Saturday, be attentive to that. And then you'll fill in all of your information here. And then there's a button at the bottom that says Add to Cart, and that's what you will click on to send all that information through. And let me know if you have run into any difficulties with that. But that's the process for scheduling your proctored exam. And then as far as the test itself, it's almost the same as our regular tests. It's still in My Spanish Lab. It'll be a similar format to what you're used to. The main difference is that it's a closed book exam, also preparing for the final. So you may take a single 3x5 card of handwritten notes with you, and you may also use scratch paper that they have available in the testing center. The scratch paper is what I recommend for brainstorming for your essay question. So that way you can start with what you know instead of being frustrated by what you aren't able to say yet in Spanish. And then the 3x5 card, just think about what you think is the most important to have with you. So maybe some really small verb charts you can write up and put on there, or some of the vocabulary you're having trouble with. Maybe you're still struggling with pronouns. Just think about that and what you'd like to include on your note card. And it, of course, it's hard to make a Spanish test that's not somewhat comprehensive because it will incorporate things that you learned in previous chapters, but the only material that's being specifically assessed is the Chapter 3 material. This test is not necessarily comprehensive. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is this My Spanish Lab assignment. So it is SAM 336 Mañana. So we're going to walk through this. Let's see if I can get this to go away. Okay. All right. So here we go. The instructions are: rewrite the following sentences about Berta and her friends to indicate that the actions will take place tomorrow instead of today. Use an appropriate form of ir, a, plus the infinitive, and be sure to follow the sentence structure of the model exactly. So what we're doing in the model is you take the verb, which is just conjugated in the simple present tense, and you're going to modify it so that it's talking about the future using ir a. So you're going to conjugate the verb ir for the subject of the sentence, add the preposition a, and then the action verb of the first sentence is going to become the infinitive form, and then the rest of the sentence stays the same with the exception of hoy, changing to mañana. So that's the model that we need to follow for each of these. So the first one, we're going to stick with the subject yo. The verb here is hago. Okay, so we're going to conjugate ir first for the yo form, which is voy, and then we're going to use the infinitive of hago, which is hacer. And then ejercicio, and then of course mañana. Let's see if I can snag this. Nope, won't let me copy and paste. I have to use the buttons. Okay. Yo voy a hacer ejercicio mañana. Número 2. Here, our verb is prepara. So that's the part that we have to change. So we have the subject Elisa. We're going to use the third person singular conjugation of ir, which is va. The infinitive of the action verb. So preparar. Pasta stays the same. And then mañana instead of hoy. Okay, here our subject is Marta y Luisa. So we're going to use the third person plural conjugation of ir, which is van. Marta y Luisa van a, then the infinitive form of the action verb, trabajar. The reason that we're using the infinitive is because we don't want to say Marta and Luisa are going, are working, or are going work. We want to say are going to work. So that's what the infinitive of the verb means, is to work. We don't want two conjugated verbs in this verb phrase. Van a trabajar en la cafetería mañana. Okay. Next one, we're going to use the subject is nosotras. Can't type. Nosotras. So we're going to conjugate ir for nosotras, which is vamos a. The infinitive of asistimos is asistir a clase mañana. Okay. Next one, the subject is yo. So again, we're going to use voy a. El infinitivo de hablo es hablar. Voy a hablar con mi profesor mañana. Okay. And then número 6, ¿estudias tú con nosotras hoy? So here we have a little bit of difference from the others in that the subject comes after the verb because it's a question. So we're going to start with the tú form of ir, which is vas a. El infinitivo de estudias es estudiar. Vas a estudiar tú con nosotras mañana. Okay, so, and you can go back and pause and rewatch any of these as you complete the assignment yourself so that you can get those correct answers in there. And let me know if you have any questions about why that works the way it does. Hopefully this was helpful. So you have número 1, yo voy a hacer ejercicio mañana. 2, Elisa va a preparar pasta mañana. 3, Marta y Luisa van a trabajar en la cafetería mañana. 4, nosotras vamos a asistir a clase mañana. 5, yo voy a hablar con mi profesor mañana. Y 6, vas a estudiar tú con nosotras mañana. So that is, those are the correct answers for that assignment. I hope that was helpful. And again, let me know if you have any questions. And I will see you all online.